In my freshman year of college, my grades were really not great. My parents were really strict about getting good grades. When my dad asked to see my grades, I panicked and did the inspect command on the computer, where you can change text on the screen to read different words and letters. I changed all my crappy grades to good grades. My dad was so happy that I did good my first year of school, he asked me to print my results. I did. It turns out he had to send them to our car insurance company for a good student discount. Ultimately, I committed insurance fraud by accident, but I got the discount. Man, I wish I thought of that. Wearing a motorcycle helmet while snowboarding. It might look strange, but it works. A storm broke a limb on a tree hanging over my house in my backyard, but it was still hanging on by a few splinters. I didn't want it to fall, and it wasn't in a place where I could use my ladder to get to it. So I found some rope, tied a brick to it, drew the brick and rope over the limb, made a crude rope swing, and swung and pulled at a branch until it finished breaking. It wasn't until I was using the chainsaw to cut it up that I realized how many times during my stupid idea I could have easily hurt or even killed myself. Our power was out due to a storm. I had a camp stove to use for boiling water to make a coffee pour through. But I couldn't use my electric grinder for the coffee beans. I tried fashioning a mortar and pestle, but it was taking too long. So I put the coffee beans in a couple of Ziploc bags, placed the bag right behind the car tire, then ran over it back and forth a couple of times to crush the beans. Worked like a charm. A friend and I once snuck 15 people into the Raptor by giving them some bracelets from a party supply store and clipboards full of paper. Walked up to the side gate and said we're with Rock with Votes. The security guard waved us right in. I forgot to bring a resume to a job interview, but I had an index card in my bag. I cut the index card in half and wrote my name, my contact info, and creative problem solver in my best handwriting, and gave a copy of my business card to both the interviewers. I got the job. When I was young and broke, I bought a sofa from a used furniture store. I had no way to take the sofa home. I went to a used car lot a couple of blocks away and took a truck for a test drive. I'm stuck on a cliff, but if I jump at a really sharp angle at that gravel field, I could just lie down there and be fine, just like in TV. Every time I think about this, I'm amazed I'm either not flattened by a rock or smashed against something. Childhood really is just a tutorial level sometimes. In college, I was taking a class that required me to purchase an online textbook and workbook that was registered under your name, basically ensuring that each student would have to buy a new online copy each semester instead of buying used textbooks. I had a friend who took this class a semester before me, so we came up with the idea to message customer service and explain that I had recently gotten married, so my last name had changed, and I legally changed my first name from my friend's name to my first name, and I would need them to change it in their systems. It totally worked, and the rep even congratulated me on my marriage. Real estate told me I had to have the carpets professionally cleaned or I'd lose my $800 bond. I did some research and found that I could become an accredited carpet cleaner as there are no official licensing boards in my state. So, I did what any sane person would do. I paid the $85, did the online course, and got my certificates. Registered a business name, all free. Handed the property management a copy of my accreditation and an invoice for services. I became a professional carpet cleaner and launched a vacate cleaning business that is still going 6 months later. I did clean the carpets. They claimed I didn't and required a professional cleaner's invoice as proof. So I gave them the proof. I did not charge the real estate agency. It was a copy of the invoice they claimed to require. I do professional housekeeping and cleaning for vacating a property at the end of a lease to ensure you get the maximum bond back. I help people who are unfairly treated by their property management and advise them on what steps to take in regards to cleaning and repairs. With the return of the bond and some smart shopping, I was able to purchase my own equipment to continue the job. I then claimed those costs back on task. This idea could have easily gotten me fired if it went wrong. I was working as an art director at an animation studio, making videos for clients. One client was especially pesky about the use of yellow in the background. They wanted it to be that of their logo, which was this horrible neon piss yellow. We advised against it, but after numerous calls, we had to cave and gave a version with that color. They hated it and asked for a change. What followed were 12 versions with numerous calls in between, tweaking the color over and over. I finally got tired of it and sent the original version again. I didn't even bother to rename the file. The client said, "This looks exactly the way we wanted. Thank you." How that ever went right, I still have no idea. Dressing like a redneck to pick up chicks. I went to college in the South, but the guys there were all very preppy. I thought because a lot of the girls grew up in the South, they would be drawn to more of a redneck vibe that not many people on campus had. So I bought a camel fishing hat. Literally had three girls start conversations with me that day. There was a swarm of hornets that had made a nest under the front of our porch with only one specific narrow entry in or out. Spray wouldn't work and it was right under our front door. So we had no way to keep exterminating them. Then I realized, why not wearing blades of metal? We did have an old 50 metal fan. I could maybe blow them away from the entrance so they had no way to get in. The unanticipated effect was that it worked. So after a few hours, had created a civil war battlefield of dead or dying hornets, piling up like a zombie tower in World War Z. Every few moments, you hear thunk as another hornet fell into the trap. So satisfying. Honestly though, I don't see how this is a dumb idea. It's brilliant. I was really desperate to leave a past employer after 15 years. I had been applying and interviewing and striking out. Finally, I got an interview at a place where at the time I felt, meh, I'm not really sure this is right for me, but anything's better than where I'm at. Instead of prepping for the interview, rehearsing answers, I put on office space. I was cocky, brash, unconcerned. Made it seem like I was happy where I was at, and I didn't really care if I got the job or not. They called me back the next week, and I waited for a week to return their call. Same deal with the second interview. When they offered me the job, I hemmed and hawed. Said I needed to think about it really hard, and it was a big move for me. I came back and demanded well over $15,000 above what they were offering in salary. They accepted. It probably wouldn't work in this day and age, but back when I was young, I was tired of retail and wanted an office job. I just lied my ass off and pulled a total George Costanza with what friends coached to answer phones as a business and such. I got hired as an admin assistant and have been steadily moving up since.